Guys, we're back. This is going to be a 20-minute session, right?
Short and sharp.
You know what we're trying to do, right? First of all, here he is, Scotty T, Mr. Simon Stevens himself, right? Si, and the viewers. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. And thank you, and we're going to get onto this very shortly, for sending some stuff in. We've got some little exciting stuff that we're going to talk about today. And I know we're designing these different episodes to kind of fit into people's schedules, right?
Yep.
Usually we talk between 40 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And we could talk for hours.
And that's curtailed.
Yeah. Like Nat comes in, she's like this, right?
Yep.
But also we're looking at different ways that people can reach out and just, when they're doing their stuff, for instance, when they're walking, when they're being active, they could maybe listen to us, watch us, so it takes away the boredom of that walk. So we're trying to encourage the walking, the fitness. So this is going to be 20 minutes, guys. So again, please share, please like, please subscribe, please comment, and send us some voice notes. I'm going to start off, right, give you a little bit of history. So these trims don't just come, by the way, Angel, just saying, right, I don't just turn up like this, Angel again, you know. She wants to make sure we're dressed up nicely. I've got a lovely set of barbers, like from all around the country, but specifically, and I know I'm going to reach out to them, Razors Barbers, Houghton Regis, right? Great people. Nico, one of the dudes, right? Lovely guy. I ain't going to pretend to know his age, but he's a young dude. At least half our age, but he's there. And he's talking to me, goes, I'm listening to the podcast, guys, and thank you so much. And he's like, genuinely, really good guys, really good, genuine stuff, the topics that I want to hear. And I was like, oh, brilliant. Any feedback, because we always welcome feedback. He goes, it's not feedback, it's just, you know, I want to hear about certain things. I love to hear about you guys, how busy you are, and, you know, you manage work, you manage relationships, you manage your children and everything else on top. How'd you do it? And I said to him, well, don't take it from us. How do you do it? Because we're all learning from each other. And he goes, I'm going to send you a voice note of a question. So I thought we'd start this episode by playing a voice note from Nico. And I won't ask the question, but he will. So just let me load it up. All right, old school. See, using tech for good, man.
So as a male, I find it really hard to balance my daily life, ensuring that I get the gym in, go to work, and I'm a good family man to my family, for my missus, and so on. So my question is, how have you found dealing with a busy schedule, and what have you done or implemented to help you with your schedule, meet your deadlines, turn up to everything that you're meant to be doing, and, you know, being there for your family when they need? So that's my question.
What a great question.
Yep.
How old is Nico? Would you guess?
You know what? He's looking fresh, man, to be fair. Right, I'm going to say mid-20s. And but he's doing well. He's doing really well.
I don't think in my mid-20s I would ask questions like that. So that's credit to him. I mean, he's already operating at a level. So the fact that he's even pondering on these things is definitely impressive. Mm-hmm. I'll go first on this one. So.
Yeah, you go for it.
Because it puts me in mind of a voice note that I sent a client just this morning. Life's busy, life's hectic. We've all got loads of stuff to do. But I think that it's possible. Do you remember the game Tetris?
Yeah.
So Tetris, the falling blocks.
Game Boy.
Everybody remembers.
Come on.
Well, does everybody remember Tetris? We remember Tetris.
Come on,
Is
bro.
rated age
Come on.
thing?
They don't know what
We might
Tetris
have
is.
Nico,
but
I don't
we
know.
do.
Do you reckon Nico will know Tetris?
He might
Sorry,
do.
Nico.
Sorry, man.
JP will show you next time.
Game
Tetris was for anyone who doesn't know, it's a game that you had blocks dropping vertically down the screen, and the idea was to rotate these blocks, so they're all different shapes, so that they fit nicely inside each other. So the blocks might there was a series of different shapes, but you would get the one block would follow a different block, and the job was to kind of juggle those blocks around to make them interlocked. And I think that life can be a bit like a game of Tetris, if you find your flow state. So all of those important components in Nico's life, he's got his work, he's got his fitness, he's got his family obligations, he's got his own obligations to himself. They're non-negotiables. They're things. They're the blocks that are going to come raining down. Doesn't matter what's happening. Every day those blocks are going to come raining down. But I think it's possible to slot all those in. So a practice that I found really, really useful is to not let one need bleed into the other. And it's easy to say, but it's hard to do. So for example, and this Simon put me onto this, and one of our previous conversations, Si, when you mentioned when you're sitting down at the table, I think you said you saw some guys do it. I think that's where the story came from. That you saw them all put their phones in the middle
Do
of
you
the
know it
table.
was my son? It was my oldest son,
That was
actually.
it. Yeah.
He said a load of guys went out for a meal. They put all their phones in the middle of the table, and it's like, right, if anyone touches their phone, they pay for the meal.
Well, there you go. And that
Right.
landed. I mean, you said that to me, and I'm like, what a great idea. So if I'm sitting around the table with my family, the job is to be sitting around the table with my family. Right? Sounds glib, sounds easy.
Yeah.
But we can easily be distracted. So be present in the moment you're in. Block that time off in your calendar, whether that be physically or metaphorically, and commit to that moment.
Yep.
If you're pursuing fitness and you know you've got to get in the gym for an hour a week, 4 times a week, then do it. An hour a day, 4 times a week, then do it. Block that time off on your calendar. When you're in that moment, just be doing that thing. And I think it's with the constant connection that we all have and all of the noise that's in our ears, and then that kind of yardstick that you use to measure yourself up against all these imaginary people that don't actually know anything.
Yep.
We kind of end up running from pillar to post. But if we go back to that game of Tetris, there's one block falling at a time, pivot that block, find a place for it, then move on to the next one. And I think that's been really helpful for me as a kind of a dad who's managing all sort of financial, family, fitness, kind of build goals and business aspirations for my own self. Just to look at one thing at a time, deal with the thing that you're dealing with, and then move on. It stops you getting bogged down.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, I think for me, I'd probably say, you know what, learn from your mistakes. Because I haven't always got it right. I've not always managed my time correctly.
Yeah.
I've let people down. I could have spent time with family when I didn't. I was convincing myself, you've got to work so many hours a day, you've got to do so many things a day. And sometimes you don't quite realise that things will wait sometimes, or things need to wait sometimes. So I think for me, it's a lot of getting it wrong, consistently getting it wrong, and letting people down, and then letting down the people you care about. That ends up hurting you.
Of course, man.
And never intentionally trying to do that, but you're doing it because you think, I've got to work hard for my family, I've got to do this, got to do that, got to fit things in, I've got to please everybody else and everything else. And then you end up letting down the people that you don't want to let down.
Yeah.
And it will happen because none of us are perfect, right?
Yeah.
And we won't always get things right. And I think as a man, it can be very different because the role of a man is very different to the role of a woman. As in, naturally we want to provide. Naturally we feel we need to work. Naturally we feel we need to be strong where you're hitting the gym. Naturally you feel like you got to be that protector for everybody, and they have to feel safe around you. And you can end up putting a lot of pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. And even when I listened to the Nico, wasn't it?
Nico,
Nico's
yeah.
question. It's like, he's probably generally feeling the pressure of being a man to a degree, right? I've got my spare room at home now as a gym, right? You've got a gym in your garden, right? That part's a little bit easier for me now because do you know what? Rianne normally trains with me anyway, right? And if she doesn't, JJ, my youngest, is training with me every training session, right? 9-year-old kid, deadlifting 40 kilos now,
Hey,
right?
Big up, JJ.
And
That's some numbers, JJ, mate.
and seriously,
numbers.
he is training hard. It's like, when he's watched you over the years, it's
Yeah.
like, no, this is like, he's on it, right?
Do this.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
Even the other day, I'm like, right, I'm going for do some sprints outside. He's like, I'm coming with you.
Yeah.
Right. He's on it. He's now my new training partner. So when Rianne's like, my back's, she's had a bit of a bad back recently, and she's like, I'm tired. He's there. Now he is my training partner no matter what. Right.
Nice.
Every session he's there.
Beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful.
And I'm
man.
like, look, you got football tomorrow. He's like, I don't care. Yeah, but I'm training legs. He's like, I don't care.
I love that.
It's really funny how he's gone into it, but so the gym at home is a big one, right? But it is, you do have to make time for yourself, right? You do have to be a little bit selfish sometimes for you, because you can get a lot of pressure on you from trying to please everybody else and keep everyone happy. You're not going to keep everyone happy 100% of the time.
No, definitely.
You can't.
not. No.
You want to, and it's going to hurt you when you don't.
Yeah.
But you can't. And sometimes it's also healthy to be a little bit selfish for you. Now,
Yeah.
I've mucked up multiple times. So if I could go back and change the past, so many situations I would change and I'd do it differently. Because you never intentionally mean to hurt people, let people down, but you do, but you never meant to.
Of course.
And it was never in your heart to do that. But juggling life is going to always be difficult.
Yeah.
And juggling life is always going to be work and effort, and you're not going to get it right. So you have to try and make sure you get it as good as you can or as right as you can. So for me, things I do is Friday evening. I normally don't even go indoors, to be fair. I normally pick Rhiannon boys up outside when I come back from work, and we go straight out. We go out for a meal, we go bowling, we go and do something.
Nice.
And it's a nice one for me because it actually means I start my weekend on a Friday evening,
Yeah.
right? I try and put the phone away. Don't really, go through much. I don't really message people much on weekends.
Yeah.
I even started turning the notifications off on my WhatsApp because, I get work things, international things, whatever, messaging me and stuff like that. So I just turn the notifications off because, if I don't get the notifications, the temptation to keep picking up that device
Of course.
that is controlling
Of course.
everything
Yeah,
is
yeah,
there.
of
So I
course.
turn those notifications off. And I try not to do much. I just, Friday evening focus on family. Saturday we normally, we'll train in the morning,
Yeah.
normally like a deadlifting session, all of us on a Saturday morning.
He's putting those numbers up, by the way.
And,
let's
that's
not forget
it.
40 kilos at
That's
that
no
age.
joke.
That's
At
no
9
joke.
years old.
It's impressive.
That is
Yeah, I
impressive
like
for
that. I like
anyone
And
of any
he's,
age.
yeah.
gotta
And he
shout
wants
out for
more.
that.
He's like wanting more, and I'm like, no, look,
Fuck
listen,
that.
we need to go for reps now.
Yeah.
It's not right.
Good word, JJ,
But
man.
he's got that focus.
Nice.
It's hilarious.
Love
And I like to take a video of him doing this, right? Because it's hilarious. Like he is on it. His technique is spotless,
I like that.
right?
Superb.
But then the weekend is all on them, So we'll always go out for a meal on Saturday. We'll always go out for a meal on Sunday. Look, we don't really drink, so we'll spend money on food and we go to some nice places. But that focus for me is then I can give them that time, which means I can then focus on some of the other things during the week without feeling so guilty about it.
Yeah.
I like that side.
Because I've given everybody a nice experience,
Yeah.
or as best experience as I can from a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday.
So everyone understands their role.
Yeah.
So if I'm getting this right, because it's, again, to go back to Nico's question, because obviously all of us have our own personal circumstances, and different ages, different responsibilities, and I think we share similar things.
Yep.
And other people might not do. I guess with Nico, he's breaking it down to the same 3 areas. He's still talking about work. He's still talking about, I guess, his fitness, which is important, and his partnership, with his missus. And separate those times out, but be clear to those people too, right? Like the gym is the gym. And I think because we put it as part of our lives, we just have allocated time. Done.
Yep.
But then the partner situation can be a bit tricky because that will bleed into things, won't it?
100%.
But they also, and it's a two-way communication, isn't it? They also need to know if I'm at work, I'm at work. Or if I'm in the gym, I'm in the gym. But the time I'm going to spend with you is the time I'm going to spend with you.
100%.
Yeah.
So it works both
Make
ways.
that
Am I getting that
time.
right? Is that?
I think you are getting it right. And I think just listen to kind of your point, Si, and kind of your kind of further kind of clarification, JB. Something else popped into my head. So life for me can be confusing, right? But fitness isn't confusing. Like it's just innately making progress, being consistent. It's just one of those things I enjoy, more for the mental side than the physical side. It makes me feel like me. I'm a functional, it sounds like a cliche phrase, I'm a functional fitness enthusiast. And what is that? Well, really, that's just being able to do lots of different things, whether it be being strong, being explosive, being endurant, and kind of reducing that recovery so you can do all those things over and over again. That's basically what it is. So in order to get functionally fit, there's a lot of different elements. So training to be strong isn't the same as training to be endurant.
No.
Training to be powerful isn't the same as training to look good.
Yeah.
But you've got to kind of move all those pieces to trend everything upwards.
Of course.
Making progress across multiple aspects of my life for a time could feel quite confusing, but in fitness it doesn't. So then I started thinking, well, why don't I look at my life through the lens of fitness? And this might be useful for Nico. If I've got a year, and in a year I want to improve my fitness from point A to point B, so that's going to be getting fitter, stronger, faster, so that I can at the end of the year compete and do better than I did the year before. I've got to have these little kind of micro cycles where for a period I've got to get strong. Then for another period I've got to get fit. I've got a half marathon coming up. to my first half marathon. So currently running's my priority. And then for another period, I might want to get more explosive. We spoke about sprinting. Simon's got he wants to get back onto the track, and you know that takes a lot of work.
Oh,
so you
yeah.
can't do that and do a lot of other stuff. And I think if you look at your own life like that, if you're trying to level up in life, don't put pressure on yourself. Like, allow periods where you prioritize one aspect over the other. I think that's normal. I think it's healthy to do that.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to do that. And as long as you're honest about that, like you say, JP, as long as you can communicate clearly to all the other aspects of your life, whether they be loved ones, colleagues, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so your point, Simon, as long as you can recognise when you made a mistake, perhaps over-egg the omelette, then I think it's okay to spend a season levelling up for me spiritually.
Yeah.
Spend a season levelling up as a father. Spend a season levelling up as a husband.
Yeah.
Season levelling up in business.
Yeah.
Season levelling up as an athlete. I just think it's healthy to prioritise some of that time.
Reduce the balls that you're juggling, basically.
100%.
Yeah, be
Just
good at
accept
juggling one ball to one hand,
but much
right?
like fitness, because I'm trying to get more endurance, doesn't mean I don't do any strength work. I still want to maintain. I still got to stoke that fire.
Yeah,
Of course.
It's still a dance you've got to do.
Of course.
But you've got one battery, and everything pulls out of the same battery.
Yeah.
So kind of just choose how you spend those kilojoules, man. That's
Yeah,
that's been helpful for me.
100%. And Si, just before we even started this, you were saying about the positives and negatives about technology, about social media, and I think we go around this cycle, don't we?
We do.
And
We do.
The really valuable point I think you are making is, even when we look at social media, it can be a help or a hindrance. Mostly a hindrance, because we're not getting these conversations. People like us aren't talking to people or talking with people, and the people listening to us. Like, how would you say we should tackle that or make it better?
Do you know, there's a little saying, right? And it's everything that the devil's made for bad, God will use for good. Okay? So everything has a bad and a good, right? So social media can be really bad. And we all hear about social media, bullying. The comparison is a big word.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's right that anybody should say, oh, comparison's a good thing. Coming from someone who did natural bodybuilding, right? Which is a comparison-based sport. But it's a different type of comparison,
Of course it
right?
is.
Because sometimes what you see on social media isn't the real life of somebody or what somebody's trying to portray, right? And really you should be focusing on yourself and not other people, or focusing on your own life and your own family and friends and everything else, rather than trying to compete with somebody else. So social media can be really bad, but it can also be really good.
Yeah.
As much as it can put negativity into people, it could also give some people positivity and hope, right? It's being discerning to what information you take in and what things you decide to look at. And this goes back to the previous conversation, right? So it's very easy to suddenly start filling your feed up with crap, right? Things you shouldn't really be looking at, but you keep looking at them because they keep appearing.
Of course.
Right? And that happens to everybody, right? And, so you have to be very, very careful, because you start looking at bad stuff or things you don't really want to be looking at, your feed will get filled up with that stuff. And that's how the bad works. You start looking at the good stuff, the positive stuff, your feed will be filled with the good and positive stuff. Right? So it's quite like, you look at it and go, right, you're into your training, you want to do a specific type of training, you want to get stronger. So you start looking at that stuff. So that stuff starts to appear in your feed, and that can be positive to what you're looking at. So social media, like I say, whatever has been made for bad, God will use for good. So that everything has a bad and a good. It is sometimes down to the individual what they choose or decide to fill their brain and their mind with.
Yeah. So on that then, because our time is running low, Angel is looming, right? Can you feel it, guys? Right. And Nat, I think she's the good out of the other side. But good, I said, good.
I feel like getting a hard time here.
No, Angel is a lovely person.
She's actually a lovely.
She really is.
Yeah,
She really
aptly
is.
named.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Scary,
named.
scary. Halloween's coming. No, she's lovely. Why don't we then try and turn these things for good? So, for instance, whoever's going to watch, share, listen, why don't we then put some practical stuff, going back to what Nico's point is, and try and fill up the internet and try and, mix around with the algorithm. Give them some practical tips of how do we manage work, So hashtag whatever we need to.
Yep.
How do we manage fitness? Because, I mean, all of us could do that right now, right? I think that's probably the best form of advice that we could give fitness-wise. Work and relationships, maybe not so much, but also just give that and just try and put the positive out of the bad rather than comparisons. Because even there's plenty of times where, whether it's fitness, failed relationships, certainly of work, there's been whole roller coaster stuff. No one gets to see those bad times, do they?
They don't. And people don't always want to talk about them.
No,
And
exactly.
people don't always share them. People don't want to
Exactly.
say to you, our life ain't so good right now.
Yeah,
Right? And there's nothing wrong with that because that's normal.
yeah,
Right? Life ain't 100% good all the time. None of us are 100% the best parent all the time.
No.
None of us are 100% the best partner all the time, right? And my biggest regrets are probably not being good enough some of the times when I could have been good enough, or making mistakes where I maybe was thinking about me and not enough about others.
yeah, yeah.
And unfortunately, you can't turn the clock back, right? We haven't got a time machine. We can't go back in time and change our mistakes, but we can do things different for the future.
I like
Yeah.
that. Sorry, sir. Oh, no,
That's
I'll
what
let
I
you finish.
No,
I'll
no,
let
no,
wrap.
you go, man.
I really wanted to. I know we're tight on time, and Angel, don't get at me. I'm sorry, but on the subject of social media, I just wanted to share something that I think is really powerful. Yes, it gets beaten up. Yes, it's these kind of weird kind of measuring sticks that people fall short of, and it makes them feel bad. All of that's true, but there's a flip side and a positive side, and I've had some amazing connections through social media. I use an online training platform, Big Up the March On crew. Through that, I've made some amazing mates. I go to fitness competitions, and I
Yeah,
already
man.
know these people I've meeting for the
Yeah,
first time in
yeah.
person. And that's really kind of been a huge part of my life, that ability to kind of connect and grow networks with people that you would otherwise not contact. I mentioned in our previous conversation about doing that walk and that talk on that Sunday morning with about 20 odd of us, and it was so profound and lifted my spirit so much that myself and Mrs. T and our friend Manisha, Unmatched Coffee over in Harpenden, amazing coffee.
We'll be there this Sunday.
You are going to be there this Sunday,
100%.
100%. I'll come and drag you out, mate. You've got to join us. I'd love you to be. I'll talk to you after that about that.
The invite's for everyone, though.
It is for everyone. Yeah, check my Instagram. You'll see the post on there. And we've just invited anyone that fancies it to meet at 11 o'clock at Unmatched Coffee for a walk and a talk. And we shared the post. And we had an idea of this cool post we was going to put out. And I dragged my heels. And in the end, I was like, let's just get the camera, record and share it. That post has had 5,000 views, over 5,000 views. But for
Wow.
quick maths, 5,000
Wow.
views.
Beautiful.
Loads of interactions, loads of messages with people I otherwise would never have even known existed, and they would never
Yep.
have known I've existed. So of those 5,000 people, for quick maths, if only 5% of them turn up,
Yeah.
that's 250
Yep.
people that are going to have a really positive experience. And of those 250 people that could potentially turn up, they're going to take that positive experience away from them, and they're going to touch other people. It goes
100%.
where it goes.
100%.
So if
Nice.
that is
Nice.
not a good social media story, then I don't know what is.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Let's grow the positive, and this is me stealing it from Arnie, by the way. So Arnie, if you're watching, please watch. Building the positive corner of the internet, I think that's what he calls it.
Yeah.
So that's what we've got to
We'll
do.
have
No,
that.
so that's
Yeah.
that.
We
That
have. We have.
is the battle that we've got
We'll have
ahead of
that.
us, isn't
We
it?
have.
So let's do
And
it.
we should never stop trying either,
No,
right? We'll keep going.
that's the mission, boys. Thank
Sweet
you again
man.
for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, like, subscribe, share. Come at us with anything you want to say. Or please, like Nico has, just send us a voice note and we will try our very best to play it, give you a shout out, and more importantly, try and answer the question. But if we can't, then let the community do it because they've got the answers. Thank you, boys.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, man.